You or someone you love needs help for an addiction. Where do you turn? Foundations Recovery Network offers individualized treatment for the whole person. Our goal goes beyond short-term sobriety. We address substance abuse and co-occurring mental health issues together, providing a firm foundation for long-term recovery. The first step is often the hardest, but we're here with a free assessment, insurance information, and treatment options. Our confidential helpline is available 24/7, so call 877-714-1318 and discover the Foundations Recovery Network difference today.
You're listening to Our Dad's Podcast from San Diego, California. Straight edge for life, son.
Yo, what's up? Thank you for tuning in today. Thanks to Humans for bringing us in, and thanks to you for supporting the show. Welcome to Sober Guy Radio. We're doing some live episodes here from the Innovations in Recovery Conference down in San Diego, California. Now, be sure to check us out at thatsoberguy.com for past episodes, resources. You can contact us there, and you can also help support the show. If you have any questions about whether you or a loved one might need some help, you can contact Foundations Recovery Network at 877-714-1318. Foundations has nationwide residential and outpatient facilities, and they can help provide you a confidential assessment and review and see what the best treatment options might be for you or your loved one. Let me give you that number one more time. It's 877-714-1318. All right, so today, man, and one of the great things about this conference, and I know I've said this a couple times, is that I get to kick back in a booth here and talk to some cool people. And we also get some people who visit the booth, and we just get to connect and shoot the shit a little bit. And this is how Rich Cohen is joining us today. And that's how Rich and I and Jason, who is sitting here but decided he's not going to speak today. But what's up, Jason? And see you over there. And so anyways, Rich, nice to have you on Sober Guy Radio. Thank you, man.
Shane, thanks for having me, my man.
So you're from Teletech.
That's right.
You got a couple dudes, Jason included, and one other person involved in the company. I want to talk about Teletech a little bit. First, you're in recovery yourself, man, and we had a good convo yesterday and had a little bit of fun. I want to get to know you a little bit and tell us about your experience, man, your journey.
Yeah, we did have fun yesterday. It's always good when you can kind of laugh and look back at the journey that gets you here, because not too long ago, decade and a half ago, I was destitute, basically. Had nothing.
You're from LA, right?
I am from LA.
Yeah.
But before I got sober, 15 and a half years ago, I was in Vancouver, British Columbia. It was during 9/11, actually.
Really?
And, yeah, it's funny because I was drinking so much. And I remember when the buildings came down, and I was traumatized. But my first thought, really, which was all ego and sickness, was that the United States needs me, and I better get home.
No way.
Yeah, but yet nobody was calling to check on me. No.
Dude, it's not a trip.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
immediately to you, to self.
I was like, all about me. I'm like, damn, I better get there.
Wow.
And so I left Canada and lived in Tacoma. I couldn't get back to California.
Yeah.
It's hard for me, because I grew up in LA and been around recovery since '85 to actually get loaded in the city that I was getting sober in so many times. So
that's tough.
So I can only be sober in Los Angeles for sure.
Yeah. Did you grow up in LA? Pretty much.
I did. I was born and raised. Great family. Not the reason I was sick. They gave me every opportunity. I was lucky. They were hardworking. My grandparents, through the Depression era, taught my family how to work hard, especially my mom, who had to take care of us. And I had a brother who passed away actually from this disease last year.
Really?
Very
Sorry
sad.
to hear that, man. Yeah. Younger brother or older brother?
Younger brother. So I'm kind of, I have 3 nieces now that are without their father, which is very, very sad. It's not, but it's, I see this all the time.
Yeah.
I see it all the time.
Totally lost my train of thought.
That's all right,
man.
man.
I got distracted.
It's okay,
for
distracted.
A minute. Yeah, I know. It happens here
it
sometimes.
Wasn't even
People
cute.
walking in and walking around, that kind of stuff.
Your wife and kids will probably not be appreciative of a hairy guy that you just looked at.
I don't know. I don't think Jess would dig that too much. Oh, man, dude, that's funny. That's what I was going to say. So I wanted to mention too. You said LA. You're a Dodger fan too, right?
Yeah, it's. I remember, last time we won the World Series was against the A's.
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate that.
Kurt Gibson, greatest home run of all time.
Here we go.
Tommy the Sorter running out. It was the best.
I've mentioned this multiple times, and a shout out to my in-laws, the Matthews family, because my father-in-law Bill, huge Dodger fan. My wife goes,
smart man.
The only time, he's a smart man. My wife goes, the only time I've ever seen, I think she was upset or something at one point. The only time I've ever seen my dad cry is when Kurt Gibson hit the home run in the World Series at night. And I went, yeah, that makes sense right there. But yeah, they're playing the A's actually this week. So
yeah, they're playing tonight.
Yeah, are you going?
No, I'm driving home. I'll listen to them though. I can actually visualize a baseball game through the radio. Vin Scully did it for me.
Oh man, dude, yeah.
I grew up.
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium, listen to Vin, driving home.
So what kind of got you going down the path of addiction, man? When did that start?
That's loud.
Yeah, I know that is loud. Yeah, sorry about that.
It's not like a production set.
No, I know. You get some some live and well, since we're talking about loud, you were the one playing cornhole behind in the last podcast we did.
It's all about me.
You guys were jumping around doing cartwheels over there. I love it.
Well, it's easy to do cartwheels when you're winning. When you're losing, it's a lot of
oh shit. That's how did I do that?
But to answer your question, I had my first drink when I was 8.
8 years old.
I was sick.
Really?
And my uncle, and he shouldn't feel guilty at all, but my uncle, he wanted to sleep, and I was coughing up during the holidays, and he gave me a shot of brandy, and I fell asleep. And the true alcoholic, the way I woke up thinking I know how to cure colds.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, wow, at 8 years old. So it was all about showing off after that, telling my friends, trying to be accepted until it got bad.
Yeah.
I was getting in trouble.
So into your as you got a little bit older, I'm assuming just progress.
Yeah, I was not one of those steady drinkers in the sense where I drank for a long time and started getting in trouble. I was getting in trouble right away. I had a bad attitude right from the get-go. Yeah. Alcohol made me feel better. Smoking weed made me feel better. And I was getting suspended and getting expelled from schools. I was a great student. When I was focused, great student, top of the class. But I was a self-saboteur, like Dr. Bob. If anybody follows 12, very much like I cannot handle success in any way. I will show you. So I went into recovery at 16, when recovery for kids was non-existent.
I was going to say,
Glendale Hospital and Los Encinas opened up a ward, and I was the first male with 2 other girls inside this ward. And they treated us very, very well.
Yeah.
And I stayed sober, I think, 110 days at that point. Went out over a reason. Not a good enough reason, but I did that sober. Every time I went out, and I have a lot of sobriety dates since up until 2002, I did that. I made that decision, stone cold sober every time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just recalled that from our chat yesterday that you've actually been in recovery, man, for a long time, but it's just been that up and down battle that we hear about often of, so what, if you kind of flash back to 2002, what was different that time? Man, this in the background is driving me
I care more about
crazy
as long as your listeners aren't affected.
No, I don't think so. So,
what happened in 2002?
In 2002, when you got to that point, what was different for you? What do you think was different that's helped you just stay focused this time around after all the other attempts?
That's a great question. I get asked that every time I speak or I share, about this. It was the first time in 36 sobriety dates that I did not want to get sober.
Out of all the other ones,
I really wanted to be
really
sober.
Give a fuck,
I love sobriety. I love the community. I love the being of service. I was active. I was very, very active. I just didn't do the 12 steps. Right? I didn't do them all in order. And the one that changed my life was step 7, actually, and I'll get to that. But this time I didn't want to get sober. I woke up. I called a friend. I knew to do that. He took me to a meeting, and for some reason, and the grace of a loving God, the obsession was removed, which made me believe that he actually is all-knowing on that, because I had no desire. I was not willing to be sober, because I was out for a year and a half. So long as I've been away from Alcoholics Anonymous, I was never coming back, ever. So when it happened,
So is it clear? It sounds like it was a real clear sign to you that, wait, man, I don't really know if what God is or if there is one, but I know it's not me, and there's
Definitely.
something higher like right there. I don't know what the fuck it is, but that's it.
100% I am not God.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson immediately this time. I was willing to do whatever. Once I got the sobriety and I was a few days sober, I said, and I was crazy at this time because I've gone a long time. In the 17 years that I was going in and out up to that point, I was never gone long enough to drink myself to a point where my mind would start playing tricks on me the way it was in sobriety.
Yeah.
So I was really worried.
Yeah,
I was
for sure.
like, what is going on? I was making bad decisions and accusing people of stuff, that kind of crazy behavior.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to get a sponsor. I was in the Pacific Group for many years. Clancy was my sponsor. I couldn't go back to the Pacific Group. And I think I was once told, because they were scared because I was sponsoring guys and being very active. And not to knock I love the Pacific Group. I love what they stand for. But for me, I just needed to feel comfortable. And I went to a men's group, because I was going to a lot of mixed meetings all the time. I went to a men's group in the Valley, which is my home group. And I never stopped going. That's a meeting I went to for 14 years almost.
Yeah.
Every week religiously. And they just basically told me, we don't shoot our wounded. You are welcome here. As long as you're here, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And I felt safe really for the first time in the program in the 17 years prior, which was great. So
yeah, that's huge, man.
And so I stayed in men's groups for 14 years and didn't care. And I was able to have a relationship. I'm still married today, and I have a kid.
Really?
And
Nice, man.
the gifts of this program that were given to me based on me not trying to get them, but by being of service to others.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make me higher than anything. I'm not holier than thou.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I look back in the mirror today and I see a calmness about me that I never seen before. I don't look in the mirror and say, God, I hate you anymore. I don't look in the mirror and say, you're a loser. Those messages don't come in, but I don't believe them anymore.
Yeah.
So.
No, I got a big smile on my face when you said just being of service, because that was kind of weird. There was just a moment where you said that, and I got this feeling over myself in knowing that for so many years that the selfishness of alcoholism and addiction, where everything is about me.
Right.
And once I just had the door crack a little bit that, wait a minute, this life is not about me.
No.
It's about, just like you said, service, man. And as soon as that ball started going, man, everything started to change from there. And so I want to encourage anyone out there listening right now, there's a lot of elements to recovery, but being of service is a huge one, and it's a big part of it. And, a commitment, something to keep you involved. Like you said, what kept you coming back to that meeting? Was there something in particular or like the men's meeting? I mean, did you get a commitment, or was it just that accountability piece more or less?
Just helping other alcoholics sick and helping the ones that are fine.
Yeah.
Just, I took a commitment. I held every commitment in that meeting for the first 10 years, secretary, all the way down to coffee, to chairs, set up, whatever. I did it all. And it wasn't, look at me. It wasn't pawning it off on anybody else.
Yeah.
It was just, I knew that the meeting needed to run. And so I did my part.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I want to be respectful of your time, and I know you got to get going. So thank you for sharing that. But you got a few minutes?
We're good for
cool?
like 8 more minutes.
Okay, cool. Well,
if that's okay with you.
That's perfect. And I wanted to, I didn't want, if we got that much time, we kind of wrap up your story and your personal, because I want to get into Teletech too.
Sure.
You said, you and two other, are they buddies of yours? You started, so you guys have known each other a long time.
I've known Jason for 15 and a half years.
Yeah.
We used to go to that meeting all the time together. And then Brian R. Actually I've only known for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But stand-up guy. I wanted to be surrounded by people that I could trust, and working with people in recovery is a difficult thing.
Sure.
I know a lot of people that do it successfully, but I wanted to be with people that actually had the same vision that I did and same type of program that I did, where it wasn't taking anything personally. They could separate business and separate their program.
Yeah.
And both of them, and all three of us do that.
Yeah,
if we have
cool,
disagreements, we don't, it's a lot of fun actually, because we get to make fun of each other, but we keep the focus.
Yeah.
And the focus is that we got into this, and we can move into Teletech if you like.
Yeah.
If we got into this to be of service, I've seen, and I've been to maybe over 8,000 meetings probably in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I used to do 3-4 a day for 90 days, that kind of stuff. Over the last 32 years I've been around. And, I hear it all the time. I get out of treatment, I go home, I'm alone, I get loaded. I get out of treatment, I go back to work, I get loaded. I don't have that support system. Yeah, they want to send me to Alcoholics Anonymous, or they want me to call a counselor. But, an alcoholic, they're introverted sometimes when they're sober.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what Teletech, which is basically a format to do telehealth that's strictly geared for the mental health and recovery business, where they can leave, go home, go back to their families, and at the click of a button, they can be in touch with the same group that they got sober with or got their help from, and they click the group, they conduct their sessions, they see their friends, they see their counselor, they close. The next day, they can do the same thing. So they're allowed to participate in continuing of care, which will keep them, it'll give them a better chance to stay sober. It's a trust issue.
So,
right?
And I'm just kind of playing this out in my mind. So like myself, I went to Azure Acres Treatment Center in Sebastopol, right?
Right.
So let's just flash back. This is just a little role play thing here. So I go to treatment, do my 30 days, I get out. Now, I made some relationships with those people in recovery. I met some cool people in there.
Sure.
Had James Cantor, one of my favorite counselors in there, saved my life, right? So basically what you're saying is when I go home now what the hell do I do? Well, I do 90-90. I got to stay plugged in. I probably don't go down the email list they sent with me because it probably gets tossed in the big binder with the rest of the other paperwork that's like this fat. You're saying with Teletech, now I can stay plugged into that whole group of other people because they can all be dialed in on it too, whether it's counselors or people in there and stuff too. Is that kind of the concept?
So you're talking to James.
Huge, bro.
You're
That's
talking to James
rad.
and your roommate. If you're having a group session, it's just another way to fill in the void. You're conducting the same. So your OP is actually still with that facility.
Wow, that's
so
awesome,
you travel 100 miles south. You're at home. You're sitting on your bed. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to sleep at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, no.
There's no meeting, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a scheduled meeting for you, right? Click. You guys are on. You're talking for as long as you want to talk.
That's cool, man.
You're conducting the session, and then you click, and they can bill for it, like just regular OP, or they can just, it's an alumni group, no billing at all. They just talk to each other. But it's HIPAA compliant, and that's the key
that's
here.
Huge
this
too.
is totally secure. Skype and a lot of these services, they're not HIPAA compliant.
Yeah.
And eventually the insurance companies, I hope, or I believe, want to protect the client and the patient, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
So eventually I think they're going to move into this whole process of making it a requirement, and that's going to help us, really. And the key here is that we believe in it so much, we didn't even charge anything up front. Where there's no nothing. It's a per use basis. Use it, don't use it.
Really?
And it's so small. And so it allows these small facilities, like the mom and pop facilities, to stay in business and not get gobbled up if they choose to.
Oh yeah,
they just
for
keep it, right? So it helps them maximize.
When did you guys launch Teletech?
We've been working on it for about a year. We came up with the idea about a year ago. It's not something we just kind of pieced together. It took a lot of back.
Oh, I'm sure.
Jason's a marketing expert.
Yeah,
and
he's a smart dude, huh?
He's a smart ass.
Smart ass, Jason.
He's very smart. He knows. He's been involved in internet marketing since 2000.
Yeah,
or 2001. So he knows.
It's kind of cool. Like, I think back about all the ideas I had when I was drinking and using and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And Teletech, for example, let's say you take 3, guys in recovery. If you're still doing that lifestyle, could have been a great idea, but you never would have took action on it. No. And the beauty of sobriety, at least for me, is that, I take action on shit now. And I don't, I still fuck things up, no doubt.
Who doesn't?
But I'm not perfect. But man, I've done so much more, I feel like, in the last 4 or 5 years of my life from being sober, man. And I'm sure you can relate to that and say the same thing.
Just the 24 hours I've known you, I promise you, the next 5 years, you'll be blown away about what you just said today. You'll do so much more just based on
that's cool,
how you're of service.
I
can see it in your kids, and life doesn't come without struggles.
Yeah.
Man,
that's cool.
My sponsor used to say to me, "You're in pain. Okay, what?
Yeah.
Move on.
And get over it.
You have nothing.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
When I used to date girls, I still date girls, but I'm dating my wife only.
Yeah.
But
good for you. Good for you.
The gift of this program, sober longer than I am.
Really? Oh, nice. Congrats to your wife.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I love her so much. And clients would look at me and say, So you're going to fall in love given 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You weak soul.
Yeah, you weak
Click.
bastard. Dude, so I've heard the name Clancy before. I don't know if it was in treatment or where that, what is the deal with Clancy? I've heard of him
There's no
before.
deal. He's just an alcoholic who's been sober.
He's from
a
LA,
long-
right?
Yeah, he's actually from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Where the
I'm
new,
trying to think who told me about him before.
Well,
I can't remember who it is.
he's pretty popular. I look
Yeah.
at him. He taught me respect for Alcoholics Anonymous. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
He's unequivocally one of the most articulate when it comes to understanding this disease.
Really?
He taught me so much. It's just that, once I went out, I needed a different type of sponsor for me.
For sure.
But I respect and love him. I miss him whenever I don't see him, and I think of him often, and I see him every once in a while. But,
Yeah, that's
and
cool, man.
he's happy to see me. He knows that I'm sober a long time, so which is great.
Yeah, that's
Let's
cool,
get
man.
up there.
Yeah, that's, I hope we get an opportunity, but maybe, I don't ever come down to
You can just
LA
get a tape.
occasionally,
He's all
but-
over.
Yeah, go on YouTube or something, or
No,
what?
I think just go on. There's actually speakers online that are free. You can just download AA
really?
speakers, and
Oh, nice.
there's a
I'll
great
ask-
system.
Maybe it was my sponsor who had told me about him. But anyways, beside the point, man. I appreciate you coming on today, man. I really enjoyed our chat yesterday and today.
Yeah, brother.
So if anyone wants to reach out to you, find out more info about Teletech, where can they do that?
They can email me at rich@teletech.io.
Okay.
Or sales@teletech.io. But Teletech is spelled TELETECH.io.
Cool, man.
So you can check out the website, and you know what? Look, I just hope that people that have the chance to get sober can stay sober.
Yeah, man.
And if they don't stay sober, to come back and get sober, because they're just better off. We're all better off working the 12 steps. It's a better society. We're not hurting people as much.
Yep,
And,
I agree.
And I'd rather have that than the alternative.
Yep.
Any day. Hey, Shane, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, hey,
This was
thank
fun.
you. Thank you. Yeah, and this is going to come out like today, so you'll have it and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
we're pumping them out, man. It's been fun, dude. It's been a good conference. So thanks,
Sure.
Rich. It was good to meet
Appreciate
you.
it,
Man.
brother.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Go to thatsoberguy.com for more information, past episodes, resources. Peace, love, respect. Keep your blood clean.